Savannah, are you doing a mask right now? I hope so. Okay. Oh, the one I sent you? Yay, good. So sweet. Savannah also promoted to star consultant last month, so congratulations, Savannah. Okay, so hey, it's RockStar Rally, and I love you, and I'm so glad we're here, and happy Tuesday. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director for Radiant Rockstars, and I just lost my light. There we go. So tonight we're talking about how to build a big business. And I feel this is something that's really been on my heart a lot lately, because in a lot of different coaching conversations I'm having with people, in a lot of just like one-off conversations I'm seeing two things. I'm seeing, one, people that are dreaming, but I feel like they're not dreaming big enough, right? Or I feel like they're selling themselves short, or I feel like they don't really know what they can do or what's possible or what people can do in this business. I'm seeing that. And I'm also seeing people make mistakes that aren't contributing to a big business. And I first of all want to let you know that it's completely and totally normal, that a lot of people do it, that I did it multiple times in my career. And it's not to say that I still don't do it at some point. But what I want to teach you tonight are like things to do to build a big business and things not to do. Things that detract from you having a big business. Now, when I say big business, what do I mean? When I say big business, I mean big, life-changing income, thousands of people in your downline kind of business. And you might be like, what? Thousands of people in your downline is a thing? Yes, it's a thing. And lots of people do it. And you have the capability and the ability and the opportunity to do the same thing. Okay? Because everyone who has thousands of people in their downline started with just one. Started with their first recruit. Started with getting promoted to certified and then to lead. And then maybe they had a little valley, or maybe they hit star and then they had a really hard time getting to superstar. Or maybe they hit superstar and were stuck there for years before they promoted to director. Or maybe they had a fast track to director and then it took them 6 years to promote to SSD. There's so many different ways to find success in this business. And there's so many different journeys that you can go on. But when I say big business is for you, it really is for you, because you can, the opportunity is equal in this business, in this company. Okay. We are an equal opportunity employer. Like, no one has a greater capacity or opportunity to succeed than anyone else, because we all have the same exact products, the same exact catalog, the same exact access to information, training, education, right? We all have the same exact, all of that stuff. The only variable in every business is the consultant. Hi, baby. You see, baby, hi. So the only variable in every business is the consultant. Now, I'm going to spit some numbers at you, because how many of you want to know what you can actually make in Scentsy? Anybody want to know that? Yeah. I feel like no one ever shared this information with me when I was building my business. And I remember being like, what can people really, like, what do you really make? What does a real paycheck look like? What does it take to make that paycheck, right? So I'm going to read you some numbers, write them down if you want to, don't if you don't, but I'm going to read you some numbers of actual paychecks with the information of active frontline for that person, and then also team and or group sizes for those people. These are people in Radiant Rockstars. Okay, so these are people doing it here, us, you and I. These are also some of my peers who have generously shared some of their information with us, other superstar directors in Scentsy. Okay, so these, I will say, these are all directors and above. Okay, so everyone that you're going to hear, every paycheck you're going to hear tonight is a director and above. And I want you to especially notice the correlation between paycheck size and active frontline. Okay, some of these directors are brand new, some are very seasoned. So here we go. All different kinds of paychecks. So this is in 1 month. These are actually all April numbers. Okay, April paychecks. This is what people made last month. $3,572 paycheck. Would anyone like that? I see some like heart eye emojis. I see some raised eyebrows. $3,572. Active frontline is 23. Team or group size of 67. Okay, totally attainable. Totally attainable. Paycheck, $2,960. This is 1 month, you guys. Active frontline is 7, team 21, group 239. Paycheck, $801. Active frontline, 4, team 14. Would an $800 paycheck be a blessing to you and your family? Mm-hmm. Does a team of 14 sound attainable? Mm-hmm. Yep, come on, let's go get it. Paycheck, $4,722. I see some jaw drops. Active frontline, 38. Team, 193. Group, 218. Paycheck, $2,667. You hear all these thousands in here? This is director life, okay? 2,667. Active frontline, 14. Team, 43. Paycheck, 1,345. Active frontline, 3. Team, 15. Can you do that? Yes. Would you like to make $1,345? Yes. Paycheck, 1,392. Active frontline, 6. Team, 24. Paycheck, 1,797. Active frontline, 5. Team, 10. Ready for this one? $21,088. 1 month, okay? Active frontline, 26. Team, 119. Group, 2,079. This is real deal. Real life, real money, real people in Sensi, okay? Paycheck, $11,486. Would you be interested in that? Active frontline, 55. Team, 291. Group, 678. I want you to, if you've written those last two down, here's what I want you to look at. The group size for the $21,000 paycheck is 2,000, and the group size for the $11,000 paycheck is 678. It's way less than half, and the paycheck is exactly half. The difference is the $21,000 paycheck had 26 active frontline, and the $11,000 paycheck had 55 frontline. Do you see the correlation between frontline and high pay? Okay, frontline and high pay. You want to do what we call grow as wide as possible. You want to personally recruit as many as you possibly can. Paycheck, 2,293. Active frontline, 20. Team, 105. Group, 156. Paycheck, $19,126. Active frontline, 50. Team, 266. Group, 1,757. While we're going through this, I want you to consider what a $19,000 paycheck would do for you and your family or your goals, okay? Just a few more. Paycheck, 2,273. Active frontline, 5. Team size, 25. Paycheck, 1,413. Active frontline, 8. Team, 25. Paycheck, 2,800. Active frontline, 23. Team, 38. Group, 151. Whoa. Anyone thinking like, whoa? These are real numbers by real people in Radiant Rockstars and a few outside Radiant Rockstars. My paycheck is in there somewhere, just so you know. Okay, these are real people's lives and businesses being changed for the better because of the Sensi business opportunity. So I think it's so important to share with you what you can actually make, because no one shared that with me. And I felt like I was shooting in the dark. You know what I mean? I felt like I was always wondering, never really knowing, like, what am I really working for? But I don't know about you, when I hear that I could make $3,500 in a month, and if I see a generalized goal of 23 active frontline and a team of 67, well then heck, I'm gonna go for that, right? I'm gonna start to work for a team of 67 and a 23 active frontline, right? So I think it's so important that you see these numbers and you start to dream a little bit. Dreaming is a really important part of building a big business. Now, I always say, hopes and dreams do not a business make. Okay, you can hope, you can dream all day long, but if you don't follow it up with action and the things that you need to do to build a big business, they're just going to stay hopes and dreams. They're not actually going to turn into your reality, right? So most people in the world, they have hopes and dreams like, oh, I really hope that I could have a Land Rover, or I really hope I can get a Louis Vuitton, or I really hope to build a dream house, or I really hope to adopt a kid, or I really hope to, whatever your hope is. Most of the people in this world hope, but they don't follow it up with action, or they're not willing to take the risks or put in the work that it takes to achieve those hopes and dreams, to make them reality. If your brain dreams it, it can become a reality if you're willing to put in the work that it takes to get there. Now, hear me. Building a big business is work. Okay, and there will never, ever be a shortcut or a substitute for the hard work that you have to put in. Never. Never. And I'll say this before I dive into what to do and what not to do. There are a few things if you want to build a big business. And when I say big business, I mean those big paychecks, 21,000, 11,000, 19,000. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Girl, go on for those $2,000, $3,500, $4,700 paychecks, please go get them, but don't stop there. Because if people are making 21 and 11 and 19,000, why can't you do what those people are doing? Why can't you have that same kind of success, right? So when I'm talking big business, here are things that you can never stop doing. Number one is recruiting. You can never stop recruiting. Even these people who made 21, 11, and 19,000, still recruiting. Those three numbers are superstar directors, by the way. Okay, you can never, ever, ever stop recruiting. That's number one. Number two, you can never, ever, ever stop meeting new people. You must be continually and constantly expanding your circle. Constantly expanding your circle. If you are not expanding your circle and not meeting new people, you will have no one to sell to at some point. You will have no one to host with you, and you will have no one to ask to join your team. Okay. I have customers who've been with me for 9 years, but the customers that have been with me for 9 years, they're very few and far between, because customers come and they go. Some customers come and they stay. But a lot of customers come and go and won't stay with you for 9 years. They might stay with you for a year or two, and then they find someone else, or they just stop buying Scentsy, which sounds crazy to all of us, but that's because we're Scentsy obsessed, right? We're obsessed with fragrance. We like our homes to smell good. But for your customers, they're not going to all stay with you for that long. So you have to be continually meeting new people and expanding your circle. The third thing you have to keep doing forever and ever and ever is building leaders. And I swear to God, I'm like, why didn't someone tell me that in the beginning? No one told me I had to build leaders. And it's like, it sounds so like, duh, right? Duh, you build leaders. Duh, you want to get past director, you've got to build leaders. It sounds so like, duh, but no one ever told me that. And I didn't even have that idea. Like, why don't you focus on building directors? It just wasn't even in my brain. And like, then one day someone told me, and I was like, oh yeah. Why don't I focus on building directors instead of hoping that they pop up somewhere in my downline, right? Why don't I teach people how to be a director? Why don't I teach people how to build a business? And that's when everything changed in my business, everything. Those three things you can never, ever, ever stop doing for the rest of your career. So just get it in your brain right now, no matter what your title is, no matter what your paycheck looks like. If you want a business that pays you big and pays you for life, okay? I'm not trying to get $20,000 paychecks just once in my life. I'm trying to get them like them and then some forever. Okay. I'm trying to get like $50,000 paychecks a month for the rest of my life. By the way, people are making those. Lots of people in Scentsy are making those. People are making $80,000 paychecks in 1 month. Okay. For most of the world, it takes most of the world 2 years to earn that kind of income, right? So dream with me a little bit. Dream, plan, hope, think about what you could do with a big business that gives you big income. Okay, I want you to think about that. So we're going to talk about what not to do first. Okay, obviously, you know, if you want to build a big business, you have to do the 3 things that I said: meet new people, recruit really, really wide as you possibly can go, as many frontline as you can possibly have. That's what you need to do. Okay, recruit your booty off, and also build directors and build leaders in your downline. Here's what not to do. You can't devote most of your time to your team. What? That sounds kind of crazy, right? So as you grow in your business, if you've been on RockStar Rally anytime in the last couple of months, you've heard me talk about the 4 puzzle pieces that you need to build a great business: PRV, sales, recruiting, coaching, which is team development, and then personal development. You need those 4 things. When you first start out in Scentsy, you are very heavy right here. PRV and sales and recruiting. Very, very, very heavy. This is where you live. Okay. Until you start to build a team of 10, 20, 30, 40, and then really coaching comes into play. Really, really important. Personal development should be happening all the time because that is the foundation on which your business is built. When I say personal development, I mean training, head work, heart work. Okay. You're becoming a better human, learning people skills, learning leadership skills, training yourself. That's what I mean by personal development. Always trying to be better than you were the day before. But you're going to be really, really heavy here. And then as you start to build a team, this business, this coaching leg, this coaching piece of it comes in really, really important. And they start to be sort of equal parts. And here's the biggest mistake I see people make as they grow in leadership. They start to take the focus off of PRV and off of recruiting and put all of their focus on their team. Because they're like, well, I got to get these leaders and I got to get these people paid at title and I got to get them active and you said build leaders. You said build leaders. When you take the focus off of your own PRV and your own recruiting and you focus too much on your team, you all of a sudden have no one to sell to, no one to join your team, and you're not meeting your own personal sales goals, which is the largest chunk of your commission at that point. In order for you to get paid as a lead consultant or a superstar director, you have to have at least 500 PRV every month, at least. So even though I'm a superstar director with 2,300 people in my downline, and we have over $800,000 in sales this month, just us, Radiant Rockstars, insane, bananas. If I don't sell 500 PRV, do you know that I get paid as a certified consultant and I make $0 on all of that? Okay, you have to sell 500 PRV forever, every month. I love that because it protects us from having poopy leaders, protects us from having leaders who don't give a crap, who don't work their business, who just sit back and collect all the money, right? I like that part about our business. It keeps us accountable and it makes leaders walk the walk and talk the talk so that they can inspire their team in that way. So do not devote most of your time to your team. Even as a superstar director, my business should be 80-20, my own personal business and team time. It's the 80-20 rule. Okay, I've got to spend most of my time on PRV and recruiting customers, coaching my new recruits, finding events, finding parties, host coaching. I got to spend most of my time doing that because if I don't, at some point my business will die, right? I can ride this wave for a little bit, but if I'm not continually recruiting and meeting new people, at some point my business will die because where's that 500 going to come from? Okay. Do not fly by the seat of your pants. That works for a little bit. And for me, that actually worked for too long, just to be real with you. I flew by the seat of my pants for a really long time. I am generally, I'm not going to say I am, generally organization is difficult for me. Staying on task is difficult for me. I'm the type of person that, like, if I want to complete a task, I have to have like zero distractions, nothing else going on. And like, that's never reality when you work from home. There's always something going on, right? But you cannot fly by the seat of your pants. It might work for a little bit. You might find amazing, really great success, but then you're going to crash and burn so fast. Okay. You cannot fly by the seat of your pants. You have to have systems. And we're going to talk about that and the things you must do. Okay. So you cannot fly by the seat of your pants. Don't devote most of your time to your team. Do not overspend on team prizes and incentives. And I know it's tempting, and I know you see other people do really cute stuff, and I know like it might be so nice to get gifts in the mail, but you cannot overspend on team prizes. You can't do it. It's not income producing for you, and it's not what we call duplicatable and scalable as your business grows. What do I mean by scalable? Scalable means whatever you're doing now when you have a team of 2 or 5 or 10, you have to be able to repeat those same actions when you have a team of 50 or 100 or 500 or 5,000. Okay. You have to be able to continue to do those things as your business grows. And this was a really hard lesson that I had to learn, because again, nobody told me. Nobody told me to do only things in your business that are scalable. And I was doing all these crazy things when I just started and I had a new team, and I was doing like really intense like recognition or checking in on them or like sending them stuff in the mail. And like, guys, there's no way I could do that even with a group of 100, let alone 2,300 where we are today. Okay. You have to only do things that are scalable. So that means do not overspend on prizes. Scalability also also plays into your like spending your time with your team kind of thing, how much time and energy you devote to your team. That has to be scalable. That's why the 80-20 rule exists. Okay. So those are some things not to do. Here's one thing I want to say too. When I talked about mistakes I see leaders make, I feel like a lot of, especially new directors, think too small, right? Like you promote to director and you've got a team of 25 or 30 or 12 or 40 or whatever, and they think too small because they start to do these incentives for their team or mail outs for their team or these super creative, crazy things. But like that means you're only going to maintain like what you're currently doing, because what you're doing is not contributing to big business growth. One of the best ways to create leaders, you heard me say this a couple weeks ago, one of the best ways to create leaders is to make them want your job. Make them want your job. And if they look at you and your leadership or what you're devoting to your business and they think that's too hard or that's complicated or man, that's a lot of work, or man, she spends all her time on Scentsy, or man, she answers me even if I text her at 11:30 at night. No one wants that job. You might think like, hey, I'm just being a good leader, I'm just trying to be helpful, but I promise you the message you're sending is that you work too much and nobody's going to want that. Okay. That's the other piece of what not to do is don't answer your phone 24 hours a day. Don't respond to messages immediately unless you're there and you see it. I mean, you don't have to just be a jerk and be like, no, not immediately. I'm just saying, like, don't feel pressured to open your message instantly or answer every text instantly or whatever. You know, if you're in the middle of something or you're having a coaching call or you're spending time with your family or you're eating dinner or you're doing a little bit of self-care or you're working out, you don't have to stop what you're doing, answer that text, and then come back. You can set a little time in your day, 15, 20 minutes to respond to messages, respond to texts, whatever. And when you do respond to texts or messages, and I'm talking about with your team, what you want to do is empower them to find the information themselves and train themselves. Okay? Trust me. Trust me. Because I used to spoon feed everyone everything. And I learned real fast, you know what? It's not good for me, but it's also not good for them. they don't end up building a great business because they're just leaning on me for everything, right? They're not empowered if I do that. It's not student teacher, it's coach, mentor, encourager, right? Empowerer. That's what we do. Okay, so here's what you want to do if you want to build a big business. You want to sell 2,000 PRV a month. Okay, and some of you might be like, that is a big number. Well, it is, but do you think that you get to a really big business of $20,000 paychecks a month by selling very little? No. You need to sell 2,000 PRV a month. It needs to be your goal. Okay, it needs to be a non-negotiable for you. Just like that 500 PRV is in our compensation plan is really a non-negotiable to get paid. You really need to come up with the mindset that 2,000 PRV is non-negotiable for a few reasons. Number one, 2,000 PRV gives you a 5% sales bonus every single month, so you make 30% commission instead of 25. Why in the heck would you make 25% commission if you can make 30? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you throw that money away? Never, ever, ever leave money on the table, okay? That's number one. Number two, selling 2,000 PRV means that you are talking to enough people to actually build a good business. If you're only selling 2, 3, 4, 500 PRV, you're not talking to enough people to be able to have recruits, to be able to have hosts, to be able to expand your circle. 2,000 PRV equals more people. It's just that simple. You need to recruit 2 to 5 people a month. And yes, I mean consistently every month. Are you going to have off months? Sure, it happens. But you can't have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 off months and say like you want to have a $20,000 paycheck. Okay? You got to recruit consistently 2 to 5. It just has to be what you do. It's just part of your job. It's just part of your job. So get in the mindset right now, okay? Here's what else you want to do. You want to connect with your team and train them. Training them can be as simple as a phone call, walking them through the workstation, checking in with them to make sure that they're doing the first things first checklist, making sure they know about shooting stars, sensational start, getting certified, pay raise, all that kind of stuff, or pointing them in the direction where they can train themselves. Okay? Here's what else you want to do. You want to train yourself. No one ever built a big business by asking someone else for answers or hoping someone else would give them a photo, whatever. You got to train yourself. You got to put in the work yourself. You got to find your own events. You have to teach yourself how to be a great salesperson. You have to teach yourself how to host coach. You got to teach yourself how to seal the deal on recruiting. You must take initiative. Guess what? No one checked in on me or said like, hey, did you do this homework? Or hey, did you train yourself today? Or hey, did you have a recruiting conversation today? That's no one's job. It's not your sponsor's job. It's not your director's job. That's your job because you are your own boss. Your sponsor, your director, they're not your boss. Your superstar director, I ain't your boss. You are your boss. That's the beauty of this business. I'm so glad I don't have a boss. You know what? No one checked in on me, but I'm so glad because I don't want to answer to anybody. I want to answer to myself. You know what I mean? You must train yourself. In order to build a big business, you got to show up to trainings and you got to show up on your team page. You got to show up with your team and show up to trainings. You guys are here tonight. That's showing up to a training. Tuesday training calls with Sensi, showing up to a training. When I say show up on your team page, you got to show up. You got to be present. You can't duck out for months at a time. Excuse me. You got to attend Sensi events. I know like we pretty much have no events this year, which is so weird and awful, but it's the truth. When we have them, you want to attend World Tour. You want to attend SFR. Trust your girl when I say leaders are born at events, okay? Sensi Family Reunion is a life-changing experience. You go to events. When you become a director and above, then you go to director boot camp at home office. You go to leadership in January. If your local director or sponsor or upline or something has a training and you're within a couple hours driving distance, you go. You show up. Here's what else to do. You lead by example. I can't tell you how important this is. Nobody has respect for a leader that tells you what to do and then doesn't do it themselves. No one has respect for a leader that does that. You lead by example, which means you sell 2,000 PRV a month, you recruit 2 to 5, you have the host and join conversations, you host coach, you seal the deal, you attend trainings, you say what you're going to do. And like we said, you can't fly by the seat of your pants. Well, that means what you must do is you must have systems. You must have systems. And trust me, I was so against systems. I've been for them and against them and for them and against them. And I've tried to use the excuse that I'm not a systems person and they don't work for me and I don't like them. Trust me, I've tried it all. But guess what? You can't build a big business without systems. Because the big business is only going to be big for so long if you're flying by the seat of your pants, because it's not scalable and it's not duplicatable. And if what you're doing, if you can't teach what you're doing to your downline, they cannot emulate what you're doing. They can't become a leader. If you can't teach what you're doing to your downline, forgive me, they cannot replicate it. You have to have systems. We had so many trainings on systems, especially the last couple of weeks. We had trainings on follow-up, recruiting systems, host coaching. We've had all these kinds of trainings on systems. There is so much systems training in the YouTube world and even in the Sensi world that there's no excuse to not have systems in place. There's no like, it's hard for me, or like, I don't have time to learn. Well, okay, then big business isn't for you. That might sound really harsh, but guess what? I love you and I want the best for you, and I love you enough to tell you that if you want to have a big business, you have to do hard things, even if systems are hard, even if training yourself is hard, even if staying up late when you're tired is hard. I put in a lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings in my career with Sensi, and I'm still doing it to this day. Here's one of my best leadership tips. So whether you have a team of 1 or 100 or 1,000, it doesn't really matter. But what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. What gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. Recognition is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Recognition is the best thing you could do for your business and your team that doesn't cost you a dime. What gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. Here's it pretty simple for you guys. We get paid to do 2 things in Sensi: move products and recruit people. That's what we get paid to do. So what are the things you're going to recognize most? Moving products and recruiting people. Those are the things you're going to recognize most, because we want those to be repeated, right? There are other things to recognize, like shooting star, sensational start, selling 2,000, selling 1,000, having their launch party, a moment of bravery, going live. Okay, there are all these other kinds of things you can recognize. But what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. Let me tell you, the best things you can recognize and reward are actions, not necessarily results, but actions, because actions are measurable and actions are repeatable. Okay, so that's why it's really great to say, like, I saw you went live. Great job host coaching. I saw you flip that order into a party, right? Those are the types of things you want to recognize and reward, because those are the things that they say, oh, like, I can do that again. But if you only recognize things like you sold 2,000 PRV, they may not make the connection of, okay, what did I do to get 2,000? I did this, 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 and this. Let me repeat this, 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 and this. You want to recognize the actions and the behaviors that contributed to that ultimate thing you wanted. Last thing is, if you want to build a big business, you have to empower your team to find success in the way that they want to find it. They don't work for you. They do not work for you. Having a team is not okay, I'm going to have this team so that I can make numbers, or I can get promoted, or I can make this paycheck. Having a team is really about being a servant and helping people find their true selves and find what they really want to accomplish in life, and cheering them on and empowering them to go do that. The best sort of leadership is servant leadership. That is going to be your most effective leadership that lasts forever, that pays you forever. Look, by way of being a servant leader, you end up making more money and having a big business. But I promise you, it really has to be about servant leadership at the heart of the matter. It has to be about serving others. It has to be about, okay, Susie just joined my team and she wants to make enough money to have a date night once a month. I'm going to empower her and teach her how to do that. And I'm going to support her in that. But then if Jessica comes and joins my team and she says, I want to be a director, cool, I'm going to empower her and I'm going to support her and I'm going to coach her to do that. But I'm not going to say, Susie, you have to be a director. Come on, Susie, it's time, director time, let's go. Susie doesn't want to be a director. And that has to be okay with you. Also, this is something I wish someone told me in the beginning. Respect what your team wants to get out of their business. Respect that. It's okay to encourage them to dream a little bit bigger, or show them like, hey, maybe you can do a little more. But I guarantee you that their confidence is going to grow the more they see success. Every time they have a success in their business, their confidence grows and grows and grows and grows. But most people don't hit join and say, I want to be a director on your team. Or I want to be a star consultant. Most people don't do that. That confidence and that desire grows as they see success in the business. But I wish that someone told me in the beginning that not everyone is like me, and that's okay. Someone else might have a different goal than I do, and that's okay. And even if I might see something in someone, I can believe for them. But if they don't believe, that's okay. You guys, this is a journey. Trust your girl when I tell you this is a journey of self-reflection, of empowerment, of growth. And just like you are growing in your own empowerment and growth and seasons in your business, your team does the same. Just like you have ebbs and flows in your business where you have highs and lows, where you have good times and like not so great times, your team does the same. So we have to have empathy. We have to be kind and gracious. We have to respect what someone else wants to get out of this business, even if it's not what I want to get out of this business. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go keep recruiting until I find people who want to get the same thing I do. Does that make sense? Whenever someone joins your team, you want to respect what they want, encourage them to find success, and empower them to find it in the way that they want to find it. Because like we talked about, there is not only one path to succeeding in this business, and success for someone might be a bag of groceries, and success for someone else might be a car payment, and success for someone else might be quitting their job. We have to respect the level of success for each and every person, empower them, encourage them, and then go keep recruiting until you find more people like you, until you find more people who want to do it big. That's how you build a big business. That's how you build a big business. Questions? I'm really passionate about this topic, especially lately, because I feel like we've had so many people just like dreaming too small or like making mistakes that I'm like, that's not going to be scalable or duplicatable as your business grows, right? Trust me, you can only do things that you can keep doing as your business grows. Do not start off too hot because you won't be able to keep up. And that's where you start to lose it, and that's where you start to get discouraged, or that's where you get burnt out. I've been burnt out before. And you can prevent burnout by having systems and doing things that are scalable and working 80-20 on your own business versus your team, managing your expectations, and being okay with people not being like you. And lastly, I didn't say this, but you know, I preach this all the time, like income producing activities only. If it doesn't make you money, don't do it. Don't spend hours designing a business card or making a cute label or putting samples together if you haven't done all your other things in your business that make you money. Income producing activities. That's how you build a great business. Okay. I love you guys. I love you so much. Seriously. And I'm so lucky I get to do this with you. You guys have way cuter heart hands than I do, though. Mine's like big and floppy. It's like alien red. You guys are so much cuter than me. Thanks, guys. I love you so much. Any questions or comments or anything you want to say before we hang it up for the night? I know we went long, but I felt like I had to cover all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyone's mind blown by those paycheck amounts? Cool. Are you up in your goal paycheck amount now that you see what you can really make? Okay, good. Cool. Yes, Hannah, I'm always available for a one-on-one anytime. Just text me, okay? That's just so you know, I am available for a one-on-one if anyone ever needs or wants that. Just text me or DM me. I have a link where you can schedule a one-on-one with me, okay? I love you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.